You would not have objected to 10,000 residual troops remaining in Iraq for peacekeeping purposes, would you?
Absolutely not. We should have left a residual force behind, and that absolutely would have helped. But that would have not have, on its own, solved the problem with ISIS. Moreover, keep in mind that the withdrawal timeline for troops from Iraq was set by President Bush before he left office. President Obama followed that timeline. Yes, he should have pushed harder and negotiated harder with Prime Minister Maliki to leave behind a residual force. That would have helped, but 5,000, 10,000 U.S. troops wouldn't have solved the problem of ISIS.
10,000 would have prevented them from getting a foothold. There's no doubt in my mind, because you remember, there's not a lot of ISIS fighters in Iraq. I mean, there's just not a lot of them there. They cause a lot of trouble, but it's basically they're savages and frighten everybody. Let me ask you one more question on this. What is President Obama's strategy now, today, to defeat ISIS? What is it?
Well, his current strategy is to use airstrikes to push ISIS back on its heels.
But as Mr. Bush has said, that strategy has been in place since August, and there are more ISIS fighters in Syria now than there ever have been. So it doesn't seem to be working.
That strategy is working for Phase 1. It definitely has ISIS back on its heels. Yes, and it's killed thousands and thousands of ISIS fighters. However, there needs to be...
Wait. Go ahead,
There needs to be a second phase where we have to have boots on the ground, not necessarily U.S. troops on the ground,
that has not been defined.
Have a fighting force
the second phase has not been defined.
And in fact, President Obama has expressly ruled out having boots on the ground against the best military advice that he is getting.
Well, wait, I don't understand why the 60-nation coalition could each kick in 5,000 troops, okay? That's 300,000. I did that right in my head without a calculator, all right? 300,000, right? 5,000 times 60. That's 300,000. Okay. Wouldn't that be able to overwhelm ISIS anywhere in the Middle East?
It would be great if it were to happen, but you can't expect Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and all these other countries to kick in troops. They're just not. They're just not going to do it because they need American leadership. They don't have expeditionary...
No, but I'm saying to you, if there's a coalition to fight these savages, and all we're asking is 5,000 troops from each country, which isn't a lot, wouldn't that overwhelm ISIS?
In theory, yes. In practice, it's never going to happen unless we do something to galvanize a Sunni revolt against ISIS. It will continue to march from triumph to triumph.
If 300,000 troops were assigned to this task, believe me, the Sunnis and everybody else would get on that team real fast. Now, Mr. Tafuri, is it fair for people like Mr. Boot and myself to believe that Mr. Obama is totally clueless in fighting the jihad? He has no clue what to do, and that the jihadists have gained in power under his administration in a remarkable fashion. Would that be fair to say?
That is not fair. The president has made progress, but he certainly has to do a lot more. He doesn't necessarily have to put
why isn't he doing a lot more, in your opinion? In your opinion, why isn't he doing a lot more?
Well, he said also in the Vice interview that we need to think before we shoot.
And he's had a lot of time to think about
this. He's putting together a plan, right? He's putting together a plan.
Putting together a plan. Right. It's been going on for more than a year.
And absolutely, he needs to be arming and providing training to the forces that are on the ground that are in direct contact with ISIS.
The Kurds say they can't even get the decent weapons.
And the reality, Bill, is that the Middle East is being divided right now between the Iranian jihadists on the one hand and the Sunni jihadists on the other, from Libya to Syria to Iraq to Yemen.
The whole place is going to go up.
This is a disaster.
It's going to go up. All right, guys, good debate. Thank you very much.